and right into the stretch. Looking back and throws up the middle. Rose is on his way around. Picked up by Otis.
Here comes the ready and not. Here comes the boys from the south. Here comes the ready and not. How you like me now? I say, here comes the boom, ready and not. Here comes the boys from the south. Boom, here comes the boom, ready and not. How you like me now?
You don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati.
You are watching live to the best damn Cincinnati sports podcast this side of the Bengal barn. I'm Santori Miles. We got Bengal Dad. Mont Walker's in the comments. How we doing? How we doing?
I'm doing great. This is kind of like Thanksgiving right now.
It's kind of like
It's
Christmas
the lead
Eve.
into to the Christmas holiday. It's the lead into the NFL season. We have the Hall of Fame football game on tonight. This is it. This is Thanksgiving. This is where it really ramps up for the real holiday season.
We've made it. We got football.
We have made it.
It's fake football. I don't quite even know who's playing. Greg's done mowing the lawn. It's a great day. It's a great day to be a Bengal fan.
Al Cutler. Wow.
My first radio memories. It's a great day to be a Bengals fan.
It's a great day to be a Bengal fan.
I only heard it like 4 times a year back then, but hey, it's a great day to be a Bengals fan.
With that background music. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old Oakland Raider kind of John Facenda music.
I will say, we're going to change gears real quick because as much as I like to shit on people for doing bad, the Reds have won 11 of 15.
Yes, they have.
They're what, 4.5 or 4 out, depending on how everything else shakes up today.
They're going to be between either 4 or 5 out, based upon what either Philadelphia or the Diamondbacks do, and it's a stretch, it's a reach, because they have to continue to play better than they're playing now. If you really watched that series against the A's, we had about 4 runs handed to us.
Well, today,
and that doesn't happen all the time.
Today they walked in back-to-back runs. I actually watched that inning.
Yep.
I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I have an off day. I have a new job where I don't have to work on my off day. I'm going to watch the Reds for at least an inning or two and see how they're doing. And
but
I looked down at my
sometimes
phone.
You're on the positive end of that, because how many games did we lose? We lost 3 in a row walk-offs to the Cubs, and we walked like 3 or 4 runs in one game. I mean, it's the ebb and flow. It's cyclical. It depends on what side of it you're on. Right now, they played the A's, and the A's have really been struggling. Now they go play Washington. Washington has lost 8 of their last 10. So sometimes I don't know, it's not like Chris Welsh. It's not who you play, but it's when you play them. And there is some validity to that.
That's one thing that is true about major sports, major professional sports, major league sports, whatever you want to say. That when you're at the height of the competition, for the most part, everybody plays everybody. Now, I understand in the NFL, there's a little bit of rotation year to year. Baseball, you play every single team. So everybody's got the same schedule, aside from however much is weighted toward your division. It is what it is. You're going to catch teams when they're hot. Everybody catches teams when they're hot. Everybody catches teams when they're cold. The Reds are very much on the giving end of that sometimes. I mean, how many times do we – you and I will joke, well, this team just got swept by the Reds. They were probably looking at their schedule going, we got the Reds. And then bang, it gets swept. They're going, what the hell? We caught them at the wrong time. It doesn't matter. It's professional sports. Wins are wins, and you should be happy when you get them. As far as I'm concerned, 11 of 15 is an accomplishment, whether you're playing the worst in Major League Baseball or the best. Ask the Dodgers right now. I think they just dropped 6 in a row.
Well, the bottom line is they need to play 5 games better in their final 48 than the 6 teams that are kind of all – there's actually 8 teams if you count the 2 that are tied for the second and third slot of the wild card. But we have that's big. You think of it as the season starts and you're an 8-team division. After 48 games, you have to have a 5-game lead. The likelihood of that is not strong.
No.
But it could happen. And I know people are, thinking a little bit, well, it just figures now we lose Hunter Green. Well, frankly, they haven't had Hunter Green the whole year. And then when they did, he pitched 5 games. 2 of the 5 were poor. 1 was average. 2 were good. You put it all together, it's like a number 3 and number 4 starter. If out of 5 games, that's what you're going to get. So I mean, some of these pitchers just need to continue to pitch well. Brady Singer's been pitching well. Abbott, for the most part, has been pitching well. Chase Burns, we don't even need to question what Chase Burns is doing. Lauder has had 3 games in a row where he's pitched and only given up 2 runs per game. I'm missing one of the starters who I'm missing off the top of my head. Lauder, Burns.
Lodolo's coming back.
Well, Lodolo, yeah, he threw 65 pitches yesterday. I would look for him to come back if that blister doesn't come back again. I'd look for him to come back in about a week to 10 days.
Can he try pitching right-handed?
Something has to happen there. I don't know.
I've never seen somebody with.
I mean,
you hear about it, but
he needs to find a different way to throw the pitch, which I think is the slider that's causing this to happen.
he put some Vaseline on his handing.
Yeah, that works.
Be a little quiet about it.
Right. But no, they're playing better. It's unquestionable how well they have played since how well things have really went since Ellie has been hitting first and Sal Stewart behind him. Ellie is hitting so many balls right on the screws.
It's almost like
It's almost
like having protection in your lineup up and down helps everyone else.
Yeah. So you look at the top 3 in that order, and it's pretty good. When you can blend Blade in there. Once you get past there, though, it's a little questionable. When you got Stevenson hitting 4th, that's questionable.
Man, he had a no-doubter today, didn't he?
You got Suarez, who is striking out at an unbelievable clip. I don't know what happened to Suarez. I
think
he's just not – I mean, it doesn't matter if it's a fastball or a slider or whatever it is. He is just missing pitch after pitch after pitch.
He turned on that one in the one inning I watched today.
Okay, did he hit a double late in the game?
Yeah, off the left center field wall. I thought he got all of it. He really turned on a high fastball. He got that one.
But and I'm not trying to steal your thunder. I like what I'm seeing early on, even though he doesn't have a hit out of Hector Rodriguez. I like the confidence that he's showing.
I was so disappointed when he struck out today.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is a perfect spot for him to get a big hit early.
Are you talking about the bases loaded?
Yeah.
He didn't go around either.
I know he didn't.
They rung him up and they shouldn't have. It should have been 3-2.
No, but he also swung at ball 3 the pitch before, which I get. It's close and you got runners on. But
he looks unusually confident. Not really cocky, but it certainly doesn't look like him being up in the big leagues is scaring him.
He has an idea, and it doesn't look too big for him yet.
Right.
Similar to Sal Stewart.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Reds need a couple of their players that they counted on a few years ago to start playing. You know, McLean, I mean, as good as it gets defensively, but boy, oh boy, if he would just hit the ball more often. It's not that
when he hits it stays
power
hit.
And everything. I just need because he's quick on the bases. He's a good base runner. He's a smart ball player.
He's like the opposite of Key Brian Hayes. One guy puts the ball in play all the time and can't do anything. The other guy, if he would just put the ball in play, when he hits it, it stays hit.
And Marte just needs to somebody needs to shoot him up with a little excitement because he just plays.
He was shooting up something else last year.
Well, I know it, but he just plays so sleepy out there. There's a lot of talent there, but there's not a lot of want to, I don't think.
No, he doesn't give a shit. Call it what it is. Hello? Got an alarm going on.
No, they're definitely on a little bit of heater for the Reds. I mean, it doesn't take much for the Reds if they're winning a few games. That's a heater, but they've had 2-3 game winning streaks in the last 15 days. I don't think they've lost back-to-back games. I don't think
so.
In those 15 games. And that's really the key. We used to always talk about that. Especially with football, if you can just prevent yourself from having a 2-game losing streak, you're probably going to be okay.
Yep. You're allowed to lose games.
Yeah. Just don't have them like snowball on you and you lose 6 out of 8 or whatever.
Well, and it's even okay to lose 2 in a row. 3 is a death sentence. That's when things start to slip, especially in the NFL. You lose 3 in a row in the NFL.
But the teams that can just clear the mechanism, so to speak, when they lose a game.
Clear the mechanism.
Clear the mechanism. Well, for the love of the game. But teams and players that can do that, it goes a long way. It really does. It's simpler to say it than to do it, to not let a bad at bat lead to another bad at bat and so on,
Sure.
or the error in the field to lead to a bad at bat. Or, I always have a coach that when I was playing, he would always say, if you bobble the ball and you think you don't have time to get the guy out, don't even throw it.
Throw it. No.
Because
The
one
play is
bobble
only as
leads
good
to
as
a
the
bad throw. And you don't compound the situation.
Nope.
And if they can prevent compounding negative situations, they would play better. The record would show.
Don't speed up because all the other shit went wrong. Just stick to your process.
Yeah.
Always.
But they've got a 3-game set now. They're going to Washington, and they got a 3-game set. I can't remember. They got one more opponent on the road after that. The White Sox. Yeah, White Sox are playing well. They're 2 games over 500.
The schedule is lining up for us. The Red Sea is parting.
It's not really parting.
We're going to lose 5 of the next 6 now that I've said that.
Well, they've got 2 massive things coming up, and I don't know which one's bigger. One's 5 games and one's a month. They got a 5-game series coming up with the Cardinals in Cincinnati next week. And then they got that September that's just going to be – I say this a lot. If they somehow make the playoffs, they've earned it. Because that September
you get to say that when you start, Matt.
Is just a really, really good baseball team. So if they could find a way to somehow get in this, they at least would have a fighter's chance to do something in the playoffs. Especially if they can get somebody to really ratchet it up in the starting rotation with Burns. If Burns is even able to pitch at that point.
All it takes is for the Mets to lose like 15 of 20 like they did last year to end the season.
Yeah.
Sneak on in. But it's always nice when they play well, especially when your team is bad. 2-week period, good baseball. They're kind of getting me to and through training camp right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals play, a week from tonight, right?
Yep.
And I don't even know who plays tonight. Is it Carolina? Is that who's playing?
You told me
tonight?
it was Carolina and the Cardinals.
I think.
I don't know. That's just I haven't paid any attention to who's playing. I don't really care. I just know that football is on the doorstep.
It is Panthers and the Cardinals. It is on.
That's on Paramount or
I don't even know where it's at.
or Peacock.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to watch this game. I got people coming over for it, and I don't even know what channel it's on or if I have the channel. It just says local. NBC. I got to figure out how to get NBC on my TV. I'm going to be stealing your YouTube login in about 45 minutes. Well,
So you want to transition over to the orange and black?
Yeah. The old boys with the pigskin. I'm excited, man.
Here, I'm going to lead off with the part that pissed you off yesterday.
I'm drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
I'm going to lead off with what pissed you off yesterday.
Because you're all upset with Joe and his picks right now.
Just wait. I see this happen every year. Whether it's a contract dispute that spills over into training camp.
Okay.
And that's typically what it is. It's not, whether it's this or that. It's almost always a contract dispute. But now we got a situation where we're focusing so much on how good is the defense going to play, and we see the offense struggling at times, and so far in these 6 practices or whatever they've had. And I know everybody says they're trying things that are different. I understand that. I get it. But I think once Burrow is got the ball in his hand and he's back in the pocket and he's surveying the field and he lets it go, I'm not sure if the wrinkle that they did 5 or 6 seconds ago or 2 to 3 seconds ago is predicating him throwing picks. I'm assuming the picks are coming because he's being rushed. And I'm somewhat okay with that, but he's going to be rushed in the regular season too. I'm just hoping that I know Burrow's not turning it down. I understand that. I just don't like the fact that if he were completing passes and he were still doing well, but the defense was right there, and I just don't feel like the offensive side of the ball is performing to the level that they really should be, even though it's early in camp. And I'm a little concerned with that. And I know you bit my head off last night when I said that, but I truly am a little bit concerned with that. I hope 2 months from now, I'm not saying, it's week 5 and we got the 24th ranked offense in the NFL. I hope we don't have a situation like that, because I don't want to have to say, you remember 2 months ago when I brought that up and you got pissed off at me? I don't want that to come up. I'm just concerned. I'm always concerned, though.
Can we go over the facts?
I still think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I do, but I'm not loving the way that part of the practices are looking right now.
Can we go over the things that are facts?
Facts. Go over facts. I like facts.
Facts. Fact is, Joe Burrow is the most accurate passer in the history of the NFL. Okay? Fact is, Joe Burrow doesn't throw a whole lot of interceptions in general, and he has always had a bad offensive line and always been rushed. The fact is, they have even came out and said, players to reporters, it's not speculation, this is what it is, that they are going through every ounce of the playbook and doing all kinds of bullshit that they would normally not do to see what they have, to fine-tune a couple of the wrinkles that they have. They are not starting from ground zero and building themselves up like you normally have to do in the offense, because they're returning all 11 starters. This is more of a refresh and a build upon than it is having to make sure you're ready to go. I trust Joe Burrow with everything in my soul. Do they start slow at times? Yeah. Did Joe also throw a bunch of picks to start camp last year? Yes. Was it as many as this year? No.
Let me ask you this. If they're going to these outer edges of the playbook and trying to see if they can add things to their normal game planning that are additional wrinkles.
Yeah.
What is breaking down that's causing him to throw the picks? Is the offensive line breaking down as a result of it? Because what I'm leading up to is, do they do this in a preseason game? And if that's what's breaking down, do they expose Burrow because they want to just look at the outer edges of this playbook?
I don't think, if anything is still having these kind of issues, that they're going to roll it out in a game, preseason or not. Because no, you're not going to expose Burrow to that kind of a situation.
Or Flacco.
Or Flacco.
I mean, you need both of them.
Right. Maybe Sean Clifford, say next kid.
Is he the third guy?
I don't even know anymore. I don't know.
Is Josh Johnson, is he back?
He is. He's back for his 8th.
I thought he was
Cincinnati. Back. I think part of it is their new wrinkles. One thing that does concern me, and I will say this concerns me, is they are horrific at play action under center. Whether it's naked bootleg, straight play action, what have you. I don't know why it doesn't work. Nobody bites on it, and those nakeds turn into Burrow getting his head blown off. I think they're trying to figure that out right now. So they're working on the stuff that they're really bad at against a revamped, aggressive, hungry defense, and it makes it look a lot worse than what it actually is.
And I can only speculate that it's possible that they go under center so infrequently that maybe teams just –
I don't think people buy it.
Probably going to do a play action.
Right. I don't think people buy it when they're under center.
Right. So if they would start going under center more regularly and actually hand off out of it and then occasionally play action off of it, I think that's where you can come up with your big plays.
But
until that becomes more of a staple of the offense, it's not going to fool anybody.
Now, this is going – a little bit in depth, and I'm really basing it off of just a couple of the oopsies that I've seen. This is not hours of film study like I like to put into it. This is more, I've noticed it a couple times, and I'm speculating. I hate the blocking scheme when they do play action under center. They tend not to do hide blocks. They tend not to pull anybody to the backside. They tend not to have any kind of a hinge on the backside. It's like everything flows this way. And you typically leave that end man on the line, or an email, as some people call it, sometimes it's designed that he's unblocked and you hope that he's going to follow through and you loop around him. But if he doesn't bite, you've got a guy that's just completely wide open to rip your quarterback's head off. A lot of times they'll pull the play action side guard backward so that it's almost like you have a lead blocker for your rollout, or that backside tackle, instead of doing, whether it's an inside zone play action or a stretch zone play action, sometimes he'll hinge, and instead of going this way with it, he'll open himself up at like a reverse 45-degree angle to catch that guy as a backside protection. The couple times that I've seen it, they've really left that guy on an island backside, and that blows shit up. The issue is, I think they like having so many guys downfield and so many routes. It's really hard to do naked boots with a true 5-man protection like they like to do. Those tend to be 7, sometimes even 9-man protections. Sometimes it's just a 2-man route concept, and they like to have 4 and 5. So you have an entire run defense biting up with no security blanket on the backside of that rollout, and I think that's where it is. That's my opinion on a couple of items that I've seen. I think that they need to really dial back those protections, because here's the other thing. You're supposed to be selling a run. It's hard to sell a run when you got 5 guys running routes.
Right. I was going to say you're not typically running the ball when you have 5 wide.
Right.
So why don't they just pick up the phone and bring Mr. Esiason in here and talk about how they handled that in 1988 under Sam Weish? Because that was the most I don't know what you would call it. Hard to detect if it was a handoff or not than anything I've ever seen in the NFL. Steve DeBerg did it really, really well, I think, when he was with the Chiefs, but nobody did it like Boomer and the Bengals in '88. It was so sleight of hand.
Well,
I think, as silly as it sounds, it might be because Weish was also he was a practicing kind of magician. Yeah, he did that on the side, so he understood sleight of hand.
I think maybe that's part of it. The thing is, people need to buy it, right? You've got to buy that it's actually a run, and I think that's the problem with the Bengals. Have a productive run, but their run game comes wholeheartedly out of shotgun. Almost everything they do does. So when you go under center, you're thinking immediately, if they're going to run play action, here it comes. So backside guy, don't bite. I mean, that's all. If I'm coaching defense against the Bengals, I'd be like, look, if your backside, which will be Burrow's right-hand side because he's rarely going to roll out to his left, because that's just – you can do it. It's just not a natural thing to have in your playbook. If I see Burrow under center and I'm the right defensive end, because defense is labeled from the quarterback's point of view. So if I'm on Burrow's right hip as a defensive end and I see he's under center, I'm playing tight run fit on my side, and then I'm head hunting the quarterback. I would just tell my guy that every single time. Look, especially if he's not in a position where he's going to have to drop off into coverage, if he's a true defensive end, dude, just wait. Because if they're going to do it, this is where it's happening, and you're going to have a free shot at Joe Burrow. And I think that's what people do, because people don't actually trust that they're really going to hand the ball off. And until they do, or until they actually bring a hide block or a wham block or a pulling guard or something to really pick up that backside guy, I think that you're going to have a lot of issues with your rollouts and your naked bootlegs. I mean, you remember Jake Browning, I think it was last year or the year before, came running off the field saying, no more nakeds, no more nakeds. They don't protect it well. It's not a Joe Burrow problem. It's been a Joe Burrow, a Joe Flacco, a Brandon Allen, a Jake Browning. It's been a Zach Taylor problem. And I think it's because they just people don't respect them when they're under center.
All right, so let's move on to some players that seem to be making a pretty darn big impact, or are beginning to make an impact. So what we're hearing so far in training camp.
Sure.
And I'll go past the obvious of Dexter Lawrence. But on the offensive
my
side,
boy.
Kobe Young.
Yeah, Kobe.
He seems to be starting to rise a little bit. And I didn't expect anything or much of anything out of him, and he still may not turn out to be anything. I don't know. But it seems like he's getting a little bit of airtime. And
Well,
maybe he's earning it. I hope he's earning it.
He was kind of in that same, unfortunately, the same conversation with Jermaine Burton. And I don't mean that as a knock on his character or that he's a terrible guy. I think a lot of it from college was overinflated. I heard there's a domestic violence issue. I don't know exactly what happened. I'm not going to pretend to. I hope that if he had those problems in the past, that it's cleared up. I do believe in second chances. I do believe in people given a chance. I mean, I hung with Jermaine Burton for a while, and he was fucking garbage. Call it what it was. But I think he has a little bit more give a fuck to him than Jermaine Burton did. And I think I think Burton was probably more talented, if we're being honest. I mean, I think Burton was a first-round talent. I don't think Kobe Young was.
So this staying with receivers, this Dante Myers.
Yeah.
The
Canada.
Yeah, the Canadian Football League player. Is he a player to expect to potentially be kind of like Tinsley was last year, where he's just good enough that you can't really keep him off the team?
I think he's going to be similar to Tinsley. The guy that I'm going to comp him to in terms of, we'll say, like preseason roster awareness was it Damian Willis, Zach Taylor's first year, the undrafted kid that ended up being the number 2 receiver out of camp? I don't think he's going to be the number 2 receiver out of camp.
No.
But I think he's going to be one of those guys that you see him the entire time in preseason because he is, compared to a lot of these kids coming out of college, he's so much more polished. I mean, he's like 26 years old. He's played in the Canadian.
Can he return kicks?
Yeah, he's a good kick returner.
Because if he can return kicks, that'll be the end of Charlie Jones.
Well, I know he's running with the 3rd kick return team right now. I think Chuck Sizzle is still running with the 1s for kick return.
Punt return or kick return?
Yes,
both.
I think Myers is more than capable. I think he's more in the, because he's about 6 foot. He's about maybe 5'11". He's kind of in that very average build, but I think he runs his routes well from what I've seen. He looks like he gets in and out of his cuts well. He looks like his hips drop low when he needs to. I think he's got a chance to push, I would say at minimum, for a practice squad spot. I don't think there's any way in the world that they cut him. But I've been wrong before. Yeah, like Darth says, I think he's going to be a preseason hero.
Do we have a running back besides Brown and P. Ryan?
No,
because I'm not a fan of Taj. Taj Brooks doesn't look.
He does not look
like he's got anything to him.
I was very much in love with him out of college. I don't know what happened in the NFL. He looks so unsure of what to do when he gets the ball.
I'm telling you, he reminds me of a couple of years ago, Najee Harris. That's what he reminds me of. Maybe it's just the hair, but it's the production. I mean,
he's very tentative when he gets the ball, and he's supposed to be a bit of a bruising back. So it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, maybe he's not seeing it clearly. Maybe he didn't trust what was in front of him. I don't know. I'm hoping year 2 is a lot better. You're probably going to see a lot of him over the next couple of weeks.
Well, they need to see what they've got. I just hope they have somebody else. I mean, hopefully they got to have a half a dozen or more running backs, and somebody could really step up.
I'm sure. Let me see what they've actually got. I'm not familiar with all of their depth right now. I'll be honest. There's 90 guys on that roster. I could probably name 70 of them. In terms of running backs, they have Gary Brightwell, which I know you like him.
I like when he was returning kicks in preseason, and they did bring him up during the season for a cup of coffee.
They've got Kendall Milton, who's kind of been one of the bigger backs that has had some.
He's number 36.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they've got Jamal Haynes. I think you might like Jamal Haynes.
Haynes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is a rookie out of Georgia Tech. He's number 24. He is 5'7", 195. so he's going to be a little bit stockier for his height. Let me find his college production because I think he was one of those guys that just because of his size did not get drafted. I'm pretty sure he had a good little college career.
When you get done with this, I want to go back to something that Darth mentioned in the comments, but I'll wait till you're done.
So Georgia Tech, keep in mind that's a little bit of a bruising school for their style. He had 2,500 yards there over his career, which, depending on how many games he actually played. He was 4.3 yards a carry, 21 rushing touchdowns, 3,200 all-purpose yards, 13 games, 11 starts, and 25. He had 500 yards that year. He had 1,000 yards the year before. He was 1,000-yard back the year before that. So, he had multiple 1,000-yard seasons at Georgia Tech and then split time his senior year. He's got a chance. He's 23. He's had some tread come off the tires if he's a running back at Georgia Tech, let's be honest. But we'll see. And then there's another one whose name is Kentrell Bullock. He's a rookie out of South Alabama, 5'10", 204. I know nothing about him. I'll be 100% honest. College free agent in May, 6-year collegiate playing career that included University of Mississippi for 3 years, South Alabama for 3 years. In 36 games at South Alabama, he rushed for 2,400 yards and 25 touchdowns. So, he was productive. He's 24, 5'10", 204. Maybe he gets some time. Who knows? But there's also going to be a third of the league running backs get cut in about 3 weeks. So
yeah, I think we'll have to pay special attention to that this year.
Yeah, I don't want to be in a situation where we have to trade my 7th-round pick again for Herbert.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why they didn't keep him. I liked him, but hey, dude never fumbled in his entire career and came here and fumbled on the very first carry.
So Darth mentioned something about Eric All.
Mm-hmm.
What does Eric All do schematically for this offense that they can't do without him?
He is one of those guys that makes the under center thing easier. There are 3 types of tight ends. Okay. There is basically a slot like Gesicki, right? There is a true Y, which is your inline connected, can block, do everything you want. Okay. And then there's an H, which is more of Sample, who's more your fullback than anything, right? Because he poses no threat in the receiving game. Call it what it is. As much as Drew Garrison's going to take that anytime Drew Sample touchdown every week, Eric All is what's referred to as a true Y. You can put him at fullback. You can put him at tight end. You can put him in the slot. He allows that flexibility where if he's in the game and they're under center, it could be just about anything. He can do those high blocks. He can do those wham blocks. He can run 15 yards down the seam. He can do those release routes. He can do a tight end screen. He can block in the run game. He's one of those chess pieces that if he's in there, the defense has to go, okay, this legitimately could be anything. If he's not in there and Drew Sample is not in there and it's Gesicki in the slot and they're in shotgun, listen, it's either an inside zone or a pass where we don't really have to, you start funneling things. Now, the Bengals dropping back to pass is still problematic for most defensive coordinators in its own right, but it's another chess piece. And they run the ball well when he's in there because they can do certain things with him as a blocker, because he can pick up zero techniques from the outside. There's different things you can do. Eric All pull blocks will feed families. So remember those things that I talked about why the play action doesn't work under center because you don't have somebody coming across the formation to pick up those guys? That's him.
Okay.
Drew Sample doesn't do it well. Gesicki doesn't do it well. And they don't like taking linemen out of protection to do it. He's the piece that makes those things work. If he's in, the frequency of them being under center will be a lot. He is a hard piece to replace, and it's not because he's 1,000-yard tight end. It's not because he's the best blocking tight end. It's because he can do so many things that offers flexibility for setting up the rest of your team.
Well, let's hope that his
Long story short.
health holds out this year.
I freaking hope so, man. That kid's been through a blender physically. He's torn the same knee twice, broke his back in college, got hit by a fucking moped in Greece or whatever it was. Ashley, was he that hurt when you knew him all the time?
No.
No, okay. He needs to go back to door dashing for my wife.
He wasn't door dashing. He was learning how to drive.
He was learning how to drive. Sorry. Friend of the show.
So what else we got?
And his mom
Not a whole lot. I mean, if you want to talk about Cassius Howell putting Orlando Brown on his fucking ass today, that was great. Did you see that clip yet?
I did see it. Somebody speculated, they circled it real small, that when he was taking his back step, he I guess he clipped ankles with Chase Brown, so he really didn't have his proper footing.
Don't care. You're not always going to have your proper footing, so
I
if you play
understand.
hard, you might get lucky.
I mean, I like what I'm seeing out of Cassius Howell because there's a lot of aggression there.
Yes.
And a guy that looks like he's
what
playing bigger than his
what's
friend.
my favorite word? You know what he has?
Pissativity.
Pissativity. He's got it. He has it. Lawrence has it. We've got some pissativity now. We're going to see. I'm excited. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid for the defense.
Is it coincidence that they gave him number 55?
I don't know. It's 55.
Your boy? Perfect?
Oh, perfect? No, that different type of ball player.
Okay.
Perfect had the best level of pissativity. He was just pure pissativity. That is unrivaled. You have to go back to like the steroid era of the 80s. You have to go back to, oh God, who is that guy?
He had the audacity of a Canadian goose.
Yeah, Ashley says he has the audacity of the Canadian goose. Who is the freaking Reuter of that linebacker that they used to put on the NFL Network all the time? Oh, what was his name? I think it started with an L. Lyle Alzado? Was that his name?
What was he?
Lyle Alzado? Was he the freaking Reuter?
Was he the what? Oh, yeah. Lyle Alzado was
That's a freaking pissative. That's what I want on my defense. I want someone who doesn't care. Where's the freaking Ivan Dragos? If he dies, he dies.
You
Just
want
run
somebody
through a
that
fucking
you
wall.
want somebody that Adam Sandler's going to put in a football movie.
Yes. Just break someone's face off. That's all. Offense, yeah, if you want to be pretty and stylish and a diva and whatever and, you know, finesse your way downfield and haha, made you look and wave and the deuces from Tyreek Hill.
What was that player's name in the replacements? Was his name Danny? Go get the ball. Look for the ball. Just go
Yeah,
get the ball.
that's what I want. I want someone who's just going to get so fucking amped that his nose starts bleeding. And he's just fucking running around on the field. And you got to be like, calm down. Like, that's what I want. That's what you need on defense. When we coached and we were really, really, really trying to find guys that's like, okay, who could be a center focal point of a defense? It was who's going to go run through a brick wall just for fun. The guy that comes to my mind that I think would be an incredible linebacker if the size was there is Cam Scatterbill. That guy's a fucking psycho. That's what I want. I want the guy that's over there banging his head against the brick wall before the game. Ashley was watching NFL films with me the other day, and it was Big John Henderson getting slapped in the face before the games, getting all psyched up. Yeah, that's what I want. I don't think that's Cassius Howell necessarily, but I like my throwback defensive players who are probably a questionable person. Lawrence Taylor specifically, horrifically questionable person. I don't want to see him on a football field. He will break me.
So let's talk about the guy I initially said I wasn't going to really talk about was Dexter Lawrence. What is he bringing to this team? Is it more than just a quality football player? Is it a Reggie White type of thing that he could make everybody believe and make everybody better? Is that possible?
Sensitivity 100, IQ 74. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be to the degree of Reggie White. We're talking about one of the top 5 defensive players of all time. I have a lot of respect for Reggie White. I think it's going to be definitely an effect of he's going to make people better around him. I think you already see it with the personality that he's chirping in a fun way, and a lot of people are. I don't think that it's. We'll put it this way: I don't think there's any coincidence that the defense is having as much fun as it is right now. Because really, the only difference is a couple pieces, and he's one of them. It's no secret about what he can do physically, and I think that makes people believers. How many times in the history of this show have I said, I don't care what the sport is, you build your defense middle out. He's as middle out as you can get.
Well, I think of one player over the last 7 to 10 years, maybe it hasn't been that long, maybe it's 5 to 7 years, that when a team in our division acquired him, it just clicked. And it's still your middle in, but it's when Steelers picked up Fitzpatrick. Minka Fitzpatrick was a player that I think instantly gave credibility to that defense.
But it was a problem. He just fell off toward the end, but he was a problem.
Yeah, I think he really made that kind of like, in a very small way, Betty Crocker. Chris Crocker for the Bengals years ago. It seemed like when Chris Crocker was in the game, everybody was where they were supposed to be. And they played much, much better when Chris Crocker was in the game.
I will say when Dexter Lawrence is on, when he's truly on, healthy and playing well, maybe I fear this man a little bit more. I want you to think about his in my division currently as a defensive
Cam
player.
Hayward.
Yes. It's that. He's going to be productive on his own, but when he's in there, everything's just a little bit different.
Well, Cam Hayward, he can be kind of quiet through the course of the game, but it seems like when it's crunch time and it gets down to the nitty-gritty, he finds a way to break through a double tackle, a double team, and he'll make a play behind the line of scrimmage at a key moment on a 3rd and 4, or whatever the case is.
He is this team's Cam Hayward.
Well, that would be really if he could play to that level.
Leadership quality. Oh, he could play better than Cam Hayward. The talent's better.
It's just a matter if he does. I mean, we know what he can do, but a lot of times, Eugenio Suarez, you come back to the city or you come and play for us, and you're not who you were elsewhere. So I don't want to have that happen.
The talent level for his position is 1 of 1. That's just the truth. Whether it clicks or not, and for the most part in his career, it's clicked about the entire time. His down year in New York last year was still a wildly successful season. He's going to be fine, and he's going to be a problem. I don't know how it's going to go necessarily with Lamar Jackson, because I would prefer that Lamar Jackson doesn't start running around in circles sometimes. But I think he's going to cause significant problems for Aaron Rodgers, and I think whoever Cleveland decides to roll out there, which one of their ever 12 quarterbacks they throw out this season, is going to have problems.
Have they named a starter yet?
No. I know they're trying to push Watson.
I don't know why it's not.
It should be Shador.
Not Stewart. I mean,
It should be Sanders. I think he's polished enough, and I think his locker room guys like him, and I think he's got a level of it factor to him that people are going to gravitate toward because of what family he's from. I do think that he does carry himself well. He doesn't seem like a crybaby when things go wrong, and I do think he has enough arm talent. The issue is he's in Cleveland. If Shador was in Dallas or an organization that truly could support him, I think he would be a problem. I don't trust that it's going to go well for him in Cleveland, and I think it's going to bite him kind of like it did with Justin Fields being in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But back to Dexy, I don't think people realize how vital to this team's success he's going to be. I know people are excited. I know he's supposed to be good. He is a problem. And a lot of times you're going to hear the invisible work thing because he's going to get double teamed. You're just going to see everybody else play better. The best pressure on the planet is the pressure that comes right up the A gap, and that's his specialty. He's good at that. He's in great shape. The thing that held him back a little bit last year was that he wasn't necessarily taking care of himself. He's in excellent football shape right now. He's healthy, and he's highly motivated. I don't want to think about what the contract situation is going to be like in about 9 months, but because I know that's going to be an issue. I'll tell you right now, that's going to be a problem.
I've already heard that. Yeah.
Um,
Let me ask you.
If you get a healthy year out of him, I mean, top 15 to top 10 is not out of the conversation for defense. Truly.
So let me ask you about another player.
Okay.
We heard a lot. Everybody fell in love with this player when we drafted him. We've heard a lot about him from a charity perspective, and everybody seems to be rooting for him. I haven't heard his name yet when it comes to training camp. Landon Johnson or Landon Robinson.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing about him. Is he not performing well in training camp, or what's going on there?
I haven't really seen anything. I haven't heard that he's performing poorly. I just think that he's buried on that depth chart. I think that he's got the feel-good story attached to him, so he's probably going to make it regardless. He's kind of that little engine that could, the Rudy of the team, if you will, because he is undersized and he is a good guy and he's going to scrape and crawl. I think his name's going to start popping again during the preseason games. It's so hard when you're on, because he's on like 4th team defensive line, right? He's not going to get snaps over Lawrence, right? He's not going to get snaps over Slayton. He's not going to get snaps over Allen, over B.J. Hill, over McKinley Jackson, or Chris Jenkins. He's down there with Howard Cross. So he's like number 6, 7, 8 on that depth chart right now.
Well, he needs to figure out a way to get past a couple of those lower end people.
I think he will, and I think that he's going to make enough noise in preseason, because the thing that we talked about with Jermaine Burton and the thing that we talked about with Marte and some of these other guys is Landon gives a shit about his job, and he's very, very proud to be where he's at. He knows he has an uphill battle, and he's an exceptionally hard worker and a great kid. I can tell you, if it's up to him, he's going to do everything in his power to steal a roster spot. And those are the guys that you want on the back end of your roster. Even if they don't play, they keep things going in practice too. Your back end reps are still good. They're going to push people. That's an iron sharpens iron kind of guy. Even if he doesn't play, he's going to be excellent to have in the locker room. He's going to be excellent to have in practice. He's a guy that you want on the roster. Is it going to be practice squad? Maybe. Is it going to be a situation where they say he's hurt and they do like the NFL pup red shirt kind of thing that they do? Maybe. I don't know. I would be shocked if he doesn't end up with the organization, whether that's on the regular 46, 53, or the other 14 they keep on the practice squad. But I think he's going to be a guy that you see more of in preseason. And I think it's going to be more in the 4th quarter and in that like 3rd game kind of thing, unfortunately, because you know what you got in Dexter Lawrence. You know what you got in B.J. Hill. Slayton, I think they're going to do everything in their power to keep, because that's excellent depth. The guys that are going to get a lot of opportunities in preseason are going to be Jenkins and Jackson, because they were premium picks and they haven't shown shit. And they've got a lot of pressure on them to even make the team right now. So they're going to be given kind of that you're auditioning for us and other teams playing time. And then after that is when you're going to see guys like Landon Robinson. It wouldn't surprise me if he absolutely tears it up in those games, though, because he's going to be going against the worst offensive lineman in the NFL. And he's going to be having a motor against those moments, because this is his time to prove an ounce of anything. And you know the way the fan base is. If Jenkins and Jackson are sucking against the 2s and 3s of these other teams, and Landon's out there against 4s and 5s tearing it up, it's going to be hard to cut him. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen.
All right, well, one last thing, and this has nothing to do with players. This is something that I've seen just a couple times floating around on Twitter. The idea of the New Year's Eve game involving a ball drop.
So I saw like one post about a ball drop, and I think it was with Drew Garrison. So I don't know.
I think it was Drew Garrison, but I mean, I like the idea, but it's only going to be great if they win that game. But that would be really cool because the game's probably not going to end until quarter after 11, 11:25,
How do
something
you
like
do a
that.
ball drop? What do you do?
I don't know. But then I saw where they had to get maybe some government entity involved in it, and I don't know why. It seemed like they had to get blessing from somebody.
and then shoot some fireworks off at midnight. Like I don't. Where do they have a space to drop a ball? Like what are we?
You know what would be cool is if you did a ball drop using a drone show.
Oh, they're just the drones are slowly going down in unison.
Yeah, you have drones forming a tower and a ball coming down. I think that would be kind of a cool effect. Then you don't have any hardware or anything. You're not installing anything at stadium. You just simply do it as a drone show. I think that would be pretty awesome. And then when it hits the bottom, 2027, and it would be kind of cool. Somebody needs to get a hold of Elizabeth on that one.
Yeah, Elizabeth, I know you're out there. You watch everything. Ball drops. But I think it's a good spot to stop. We've been on for 50 minutes. I got a football game to turn on in 10 minutes.
Yep.
And I really have to go to the bathroom.
And we got foosball to watch.
We got footy ball. Can you please send me your YouTube TV password?
I'll have to ask the missus because I don't know what it is.
Cool. I know which account it is because you guys just sent me one Gmail account and it's the other one because the right account's logged in on that TV back there, but I'm not switching TVs. So I'll send you what I know and then we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, send me what account it is and I'll have her send that to you.
Cool. Well, thank you for everybody to joining us today.
Mm-hmm.
We've got football tonight. The Reds are the best baseball team on the planet again. And I had some questionable tacos, so I'm going to jump off of here. For everyone here at Rally Around the Natty, that's Bengal Dad. I'm Santori Miles. God, I hate Pittsburgh.